From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Ants Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger. You may have noticed the temperatures aren't quite as warm at this point in the day that we have been the last several days. That's because today is what I'm calling the transition day. We're going from the 80s in the valley to the 60s by tomorrow. What's in between that? Mid-70s as we go into today. And that's what we expect here for today, at least for the valley, and still 60s for many of the higher elevations. Now, some of the things we're already going to see pick up are the winds, and they'll continue to pick up here through the afternoon. That's going to be the first major impact, and they'll get stronger by tomorrow. But we're also looking at some showers, possible thunderstorms this afternoon for some of us. Not everyone, but some of us will see those showers and possible thunderstorms. A closer look at that here in a second. I do expect this cool and unsettled weather pattern, once it kicks in, it's going to be here for a while, folks. We're talking through the weekend. We're talking through most likely all of next week. Here's your neighborhood forecast at a quick glance here for the rest of the day today. And yeah, we're going to be looking at a chance for a few showers here and there for parts of Northern California, but you'll notice here, we're just not seeing as much activity out there for parts of the valley. Modoc County not seeing much of that activity, and the eastern mountains most likely staying dry throughout the day today as well. But that will be changing here as we go into the next 24 hours. This area of low pressure right here is going to be responsible for the winds that we'll see this afternoon in the next couple of days, but also responsible for the showers and thunderstorms that we're also going to see, and the cooler temperatures coming in by tomorrow. A couple of things we need to note here is there is a high surf advisory that will take effect tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. through Friday morning at 5 a.m. We're going to be looking at large breaking waves and a dangerous situation there along the coast. Just not a good idea to be there. That beach hazard statement should be allowed to expire later this afternoon. We also have all kind of wind alerts out there, anywhere from a high wind warning to a high wind watch to even a wind advisory. That's for today. That's at least through tomorrow night, and in some areas it may even linger into your Friday morning as well. So looking at the forecast winds, there you can see over 30 miles per hour, 5 p.m. Now we take you into about 8 a.m. on Thursday. Winds are even stronger for tomorrow morning by midday. Look at this. I mean, you're talking 60 miles per hour easily over those mountain ridge tops. Look at Crescent City, 50 miles per hour plus. 30, 40 miles per hour, maybe even 50 for some of the highest areas here for parts of the valley. That continues into Thursday afternoon. Not much of a break there. But by Thursday night, Friday morning, look at this. Now we're really starting to see those winds die down. Still a bit breezy for your Friday afternoon, but certainly not the wind event that we're going to see here later today and tomorrow. So there you can see the chances for thunderstorms this afternoon. The National Weather Service has issued, not the National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center has included many areas that I don't think are going to see thunderstorms. And they'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at Futurecast, and they'll show you what I'm talking about here. Here you can see northern Trinity County, showers and possible thunderstorms. But look at elsewhere. Now, there may be a stray shower that could skirt the north end of the valley, Old Shasta, Redding, Anderson, possibly even places like the city of Shasta Lake and even Palisadro. But as you head to the south, you're not seeing anything. And look at to the east too. Not much going on here. Maybe northern portions of Modoc County could see some activity too. By 5 p.m., most of the activity once again north and west of the valley is what we're looking at here. Dry for pretty much everyone else. And then we go into tonight. These showers are really going to fizzle before they hit the valley. There could be a stray sprinkle overnight, but we're now starting to see a little bit more in the way of widespread activity here, but still scattered showers, possible thunderstorms. Now, take a look at the valley. Here's 8 a.m. You see how we're starting to see a few showers kind of kick in. We're also seeing snow levels probably somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 feet. I think Scott Mountain on Highway 3 may start to see some chain requirements there. Then we go into Thursday around midday. Now you see how we're seeing some pretty heavy rainfall around Mount Shasta City. I don't think we're seeing snow there, but you can see, look at this, maybe some thunderstorms developing for parts of the valley here by midday on Thursday. Heavier rainfall to the north and east, still not a lot of activity out towards Modoc County or Lassen County. That will then push a little bit eastward here by 3 p.m. on Thursday. We're still seeing the potential for a shower or thunderstorm for parts of the valley, but we're seeing most of it in the higher elevations. We're also seeing maybe that convergence line with those strong south gusty winds that may give us that convergence line. And sometimes if it sticks around in one place for a long period of time, potential for flash flooding. So that's something worth watching here for your Thursday with that potential for a convergence line. A lot of times the forecast models pick up on this, but sometimes the stars don't align just right and we don't see that typically develop. So we'll see what happens with that. But you can see it's drier. There's some heavier rainfall to the north and to the west. There we are Friday morning. Now we're still seeing some of the showers for parts of the valley, heavier for the higher elevations. Snow levels starting to drop a little bit on Friday. I think we could start to see maybe a bit of a mix at the very least for places like Mount Shasta City and some snow off to the east. Chain requirements are probably going to be a concern east of I-5 by Thursday night into Friday. 8 a.m., most of the rain and snow is off to the east on Friday. Friday afternoon, a chance for some scattered showers and maybe even some thunderstorms here for Friday afternoon for the valley and even some of the higher elevations as well. That's through 2 p.m. and then we go into 5 p.m. Friday. We're still seeing a lot of scattered activity out there, so that will continue. So you get the idea. This is not an atmospheric river type of event where it's just kind of the steady rainfall all day long. It's going to be off and on scattered showers, sometimes periods of moderate to heavy rainfall at times. Other times you'll be looking at just some light showers passing through, and other times it'll be completely dry. That's the standard definition of what I call an unsettled weather pattern. So when you look at an unsettled weather pattern, unfortunately, you can look at the rainfall totals, and a lot of times they can be way off, including the valley. Should you get caught under a thunderstorm, I think you're going to see more than 1/10 of an inch of rainfall in some of these areas and more than even just a few hundredths. But bottom line, overall, through Friday, we're not expecting most of the rain to be in the valley. Most of it will be in the foothills surrounding the valley, and especially out towards Del Norte County, where we have typically that biggest footprint of the heaviest amount of rainfall. Snow, mainly above 5,000–6,000 feet, before you start seeing any significant snow above a foot, more than a foot of snow possibly, including the ski park. And we may see some light snow for some of these mountain communities, like higher mountain communities like Chester, Quincy, and Portola. Etna, no, I don't think that's going to happen here. But, you know, maybe a little bit of a mix out towards Fall River Mills and Alturas, and even Mount Shasta may see a mix, but Mount Shasta City probably won't see much in the way of any accumulating snow, if any. Now, we take a look at the long range here. I do expect a break from all of this on Saturday. This is coming in on Sunday, giving us another round of rain. Now, here's the setup. We've got one storm after another, most likely through all of next week. That's going to give us a chance for rain each day. Monday, take a look at Tuesday. That's Tuesday coming in. Take a look at this. This right here is what's going to come in on Wednesday of next week, giving us some heavy rainfall. Now, we're beginning to see signs of an atmospheric river type of event, so we'll have to watch that as we get into next week. But bottom line, it's looking pretty wet through next week. But looking through next Tuesday, I do anticipate the valley can see anywhere from 1 to 2 inches once all is said and done through next Tuesday, much more along the coast. And yeah, obviously I say this pretty much every time, right? Less off to the north and east. All right, so for the rest of the day today, you're talking mid-70s. So instead of those low to mid-80s we've been seeing, we're at about a 10-degree drop, and that's been expected here. Temperatures mainly in the 60s for the higher elevations, and you got those mid-50s, mid-60s that is here along the coast. And for tonight, upper 40s for the valley, mainly in the 40s for the higher elevations. So still a fairly mild night tonight, not getting too terribly cold, but it will be colder than it has been. So looking at your 7-day outlook for the valley, if we see a passing sprinkler light shower towards the Redding area and an off chance for a thunderstorm, don't be surprised later this afternoon, but I think everyone else will be dry for the rest of the day today with mid-70s. Then the cool and unsettled weather pattern kicks in. Look at the temperatures. We're back down to the low 60s, off and on showers through Tuesday of next week and extending that through the end of next week. The best chance for a break looks to be on Saturday. That's the same situation for the coast, although the coast this afternoon all the way to Trinity County and inland, you're seeing showers today, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm, and then that wet weather pattern continues through next week. For Siskiyou, Modoc County and the Eastern Mountains, yeah, you've got, of course, those showers for today for Mount Shasta, right? But for Alturas and Susanville, those chances are slimmer. That being said, kind of the same situation like Redding. Could you see a passing sprinkle or light shower around Alturas? Not out of the question here. Maybe even an isolated thunderstorm. But otherwise, that cooler and wetter pattern really kicks in by tomorrow, and we keep that chance off and on through next week with that better chance for a break by Saturday. That is your afternoon update. I'll be back again at 6 o'clock this evening. Until then, have a great afternoon.